hassle it is some Sundays just to get out the door, isn't it? I sure can relate. I relate to both the restless, uncooperative child and to the frustrated mother. I've been there trying to create cute little hair on my daughter. And then there's the clothing that gets soiled long before you ever get to church. This was Easter 1977, my baby Colin's first Easter. Just as we were about to leave for church, he spit up formula down the front of his little outfit. I put a lot of planning into that little green Easter. It was so important to me that we all coordinate.
I was the second oldest of 7 children. Guess which one? I had 3 sisters and 3 little brothers. We had a 1.5 bedroom or bathroom house, so try to imagine what that was like. My mother was not much of a morning person, so my father had to be the Sunday morning marshal. And can you believe we actually ate breakfast?
Well, you don't have to go to church to be a Christian. So have you ever asked yourself, why am I doing this? Maybe I should just relax in the comfort of my own home on Sunday mornings, my PJs with a coffee cup in hand. And especially if you're raising young children, maybe you've thought, I could just return to church after my kids have grown up, couldn't I? Okay, well maybe you haven't seriously considered it, but it was a thought that you briefly entertained.
No matter what our age, from the teachings of Christ, we learn about God's love for us. We learn about loving God and our neighbor. We learn about forgiving our neighbor. We learn about social justice. That's great, but we could learn these things from our sofas. So why should young families raise their children in the church? As far as that goes, what is the big deal about any of us racing to assemble here every Sunday morning? As much as the church is about all the things I just mentioned, the church is about community. For many of us, the church is like a surrogate family, especially if most of your family lives across the country.
A healthy family is a group of people that love and care for one another. They are there in the good times as well as the difficult times of life. A healthy family supports one another. I want to recognize some people in our church that have been especially supportive to children. These people have made a great investment in the welfare, spiritual welfare, and emotional welfare of our children here at First Church. You can put your hand up if you're here. Not all of them are here right now. Some are not able to be with us this morning. We have Samantha Gorin, Lois Haynes, Cindy Hakata, Chrissy Sellers, right here in the front row, and Mark and Patty Smith. Mark and Patty, for one, could not be here. There are 2 other people that are actually on our campus this morning, but they can't be in the sanctuary because they're taking care of kids in the nursery. Sierra Cummins and Samantha Gorin. Speaking of the nursery, if you haven't been by, please take a minute to check it out. We've had some awesome things happen in there. It doesn't look like the same place. And a huge thank you goes out to Mike Sellers, who did our nursery makeover. We also got some help from Scott Robinson and Rodney Mindrup, and our artist, Rhonda Walkus, did some awesome things in there. And if I left anyone out, please forgive me.
Children are not just our future, they are our present. Not everyone is cut out to work with kids. We all have different abilities and gifts. But we can all support children's ministries. Please remember to pray for children's ministry. Bring a new child to church. We also appreciate donations, monetary or items of need. Remember, First Church is generous. Sometimes it's as simple as just being patient from the restless kid in churches sitting behind you. We all were kids once.
I didn't grow up in a congregation that placed a high value on children's ministry. Today, I'm pleased to be part of a congregation that does. I love all the kids here at First Church. I'm really proud of them. I recently read an article about an individual that was looking for a church in some other city. They were looking for a church for themselves and their young family. They visited several. One particular Sunday, they walked into a new church. It was full of friendly people, a lot of smiling faces. They enjoyed the service. And they thought, hey, this might be the one. After worship, they asked if they might be able to take a look at the children's ministry area. It was a huge disappointment. It was in disrepair. It was clear that children's ministry was not a high priority in that church. Matthew 6:21 says, "For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also." Let's continue to be a church family that treasures our children. Amen.